Hello, hello, my name is Zane Hostetler, and this is my second artifact of my ePortfolio. The purpose of this project is to show a correlation between basically how information moves between arrays. Now, originally, I did want to use potions and make some, silly made-up combinations, just, to have fun with it and whatnot. Unfortunately, though, I cannot think off the top of my head, and when I do, I take a little while to structure it. So, I stuck with the periodic table. As you can see, we have a large periodic table here, along with 4 extra things. We have a large box here, and 3 boxes here, and we're going to explain what these are. So, first things first, what makes the project run? And that would be the game manager. Now, the game manager has a few different jobs, but primarily it has the job of instigating 2 arrays, one empty, one full. And the first array is the ingredients. This is what manages the player's input. The second is the compound list array, which houses a bunch of random things, a bunch of random chemical equations with 2 extra strings, which are the chemical result, the actual formula, and then the name. Using this information, we can dynamically display different things. So as you can see here, we have a small drawing script in the GML language, and the first thing that is done is it's going to create a local variable called ingredients, utilizing whatever is inside of the global.ingredients array at that particular moment. The second is a display string, empty. Now, the first thing that's going to happen in this draw script is, well, the first function that's going to happen, rather, is it's going to run an if, and it's going to say, is there, or if there is anything inside, or if there is not anything inside, whoops, the little mark right there, can't remember right now, but, this basically says, if the array is not an array, GameMaker will use garbage collection, so if there's nothing in the array, sometimes it'll just delete the array or not mark it as an array. So this says, if it's not an array, or if the length is 0, you're going to display this string, which is no elements selected. Otherwise, it's going to create another local variable that is array length, and it's the length of the ingredients array. And then it's going to add the first index of ingredients to the display string. This is to make sure that it doesn't get a plus sign in front of it. And then down here we have a for in loop, which is pretty much going to use another local variable that is the incrementation. Can't remember what the I word is for array, but it doesn't matter. So pretty much we're going to say I is equal to 1, so it's the second index. Indexes in all programs start at 0. Don't know why, they just do. So this is the second index, and then it's going to check I against the array length, and then if it is less than the array length, it's going to add 1. And then utilizing this, it's going to perform this task, which is going to say plus, and then the ingredient that was loaded into that index. The color will be white for the text. Down here is a check for length. Pretty much it's going to say if the ingredients index is greater than 24, it's going to change the text size to a smaller version of default, and if it is not, use the primary default. And then these are the aligning for on the screen here. We've got the text draw, which is, well, different than the regular draw text. There's two different functions for drawing text, but this particular one has two other arguments in it. So we have the X position, Y position minus 50. Now it's minus because in the game, this is a game maker IDE. So the gravity is, obviously when you're going up, you're negative Y, and then when you're going down, pi. That's a different topic, but that's not the point. So it'll set it to these coordinates, then it will display the string that was made up there. Then when the length of the string reaches 448 pixels, you're going to indent, or you're going to basically hit the enter key and make a new line. This is to conserve space. And then down here, we're going to reset to the default font. And then we're going to run another check on these two globals, which are inputs from the script, from another script. And this displays the result. And then we're going to reset the positioning for text. The next thing we have here is the elements. All 128 of these, 118, excuse me, 118 of these things. Now, inside of each of these boxes, there is a string, which acts as their identifier as well as their text to draw. These are just the periodic symbols. Now, based on the periodic symbols, you're going to do a few things. There's nothing much in the draw other than when the image index changes or the sprite changes, you're going to match the color. And then down here, it's just going to pull my element string. But the primary thing that it does is when the element is clicked, you're going to insert your string into the global ingredients array at index 0. So it's just going to slap it on to the beginning. And then it's going to show in the debug what your element was. When the mouse enters or leaves, that's where the change comes in, just, giving some visual feedback. The next thing, this is the controller. Now, this is the buttons object, excuse me. When I say controller, I mean this is the primary thing that the player will interact with other than the elements themselves. Now, they are built the same way as the elements are, except they have a little more sophistication. They have a case statement in here. Now, originally I did think about making a case statement for all of the elements, but then that would mean I would have to create 118 cases, and that is a long case statement, and I don't think I want to do that. So we just stuck with we can use the cases for this one because there's only 3 different things it can be. The first one is mix. Now, if you are the mix button, you're going to on-click. You're going to run the mixture script, and you're going to show in the debug that ingredients were mixed. If you are the back, you're first going to check to see if there's anything inside of the ingredients array, and if there is, you're going to remove it. As you can see down here, you're going to remove it, and then before you remove it, you're going to say what was deleted in the debug. And then finally, we have the reset button, which just clears the array, clears the name and the result that was pushed into the manager, and then show debug for reset. And finally, the brain of this whole program. So, as you can see, we have a few different things here. We have some local variable definitions, primarily this one, which is current ingredients is going to be a clone of the global. And this is because we're going to run a specific type of function on it, which is the array sort. Now, what this means is it's pretty much going to organize the array based on each string's numeric value. In other words, the computer's way of alphabetizing. Unlike the alphabet that we know, they know that numbers are associated with letters. And then based on those numbers, they create a pattern or list. And then we have a list length, which is just the array length of the global compounds list. And then down here we have two global strings that are empty. And these are the inputs to draw things out. We have another for in loop here that's going to utilize a local I variable, which pretty much does the same thing as it does in Game Manager, except for this, you're going to iterate through the we're using the length of the compound list as the limitation, because if it tries to grab something that's out of the length of the compound list, it won't work, obviously. It'll throw an error and it'll say, what are you doing? There's nothing to grab onto. So, with that, it's going to first check to see if the current ingredients array equals anything inside of the compounds by iterating through the indexes. That's the I word, iterating, yeah. And it's going to see if any of them, match. Second thing, if you find a match, utilize the index that you found and push the chemical result and chemical name to the manager. And then finally, we have the global result, or else. If there is no match, you're just going to say there's no match found. And then debug shows me the sorted version of the array. We're going to run this in browser because that's what we need to do here. There we are. So, as you can see, we have some visual feedback when we move the mouse around. We have ID. That's another thing I forgot to show in here, but if the array is 0 or 1, it'll show ID and not mix. Because you can do the separate ones. So if I do C, it'll say C known as carbon, H known as hydrogen, helium, and so on. So currently in this program, there are 228 combinations you can use, I believe, all 118 elements and then mixtures. So if we do OHH mix, it's known as water. Can do it the other way too because it's being sorted. Mix, known as water. Wow. Let's try something a bit more convoluted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Mix. Sugar! That's sweet, isn't it? Okay. But yeah, that is my second artifact, periodic pairing.